We're doing a most fun KD trade teams draft. Chris, I'm going to give you the first pick. KOC, you go second. Russillo go third. And then I'll go fourth and fifth, and Russillo will have the sixth pick. Chris.
And I can't do the Sixers, right?
You can do whatever team you want.
Phrasing.
You can be as biased as you want. I'm just saying most fun team for KD, for the league, for the storyline, for the title picture, for what it would mean from a drama standpoint. Most fun possible trade team. And then I'll tell you if it could actually happen. You can pass if you're not ready yet. You can do the Minnesota Vikings. Just not send somebody up.
Oh, just not send a card in.
Yeah,
I'll say the Sixers just to get us started. The Sixers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what does that trade look like? Because Joel Embiid is not in it, but Tyrese Maxey could be in it. And
he's untouchable, even for Durant. I read today on Hoops Hype.
So that's Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris. You already gave up some picks. Thibault, you'd have to throw whatever remaining picks. That's fun, but now he's playing with Harden again, who quit on him.
Did he quit on him, or did he just say, hey, man, this wasn't the bill of goods you told me it was?
What?
Harden
Sacramento game submitted as evidence.
Russillo watches the Sacramento game like every 2 weeks, just with a glass of wine, some barbecue, just sits down and enjoys it. Chris, that was a homer pick. I'm sorry you went first. KOC, you go next.
How about the Grizzlies? Maximum drama.
You're in the pocket of Big Verno now.
Yeah, Grizzlies Warriors instant rivalry. Turned up to 11 with those two, and for Kevin Durant from a player roster standpoint, it makes sense because he can lead this young team. He can be the reason why they get over the top. But as Ja and all those young guys get older, he can age gracefully as he nears the end of his contract, and it's easy to figure out salary wise too.
So I had them written down. They obviously have the capability to do a 4-for-1, 5-for-1, whatever. I have some questions. Russillo, you can answer this first one. Is Jaren Jackson in that trade?
I mean, they would try to, limit those. If you had your untouchables list, he'd be the second guy that's untouchable. And it's always
that's how I feel.
Right. Whenever you're, I think I said this earlier this week, but like the rule is kind of, why do I trade my solution for your problem? Yeah. So that's why you don't usually get, Durant's a little different, you would think. And I don't think it would destroy who Memphis was, but he was just, I thought he was so good this year defensively. I think he's going to get better on offense too. So I'm sure they would try to figure out a way around doing that. But then it's okay, cool. Like Dillon Brooks, all right, seriously. So
if you're the Grizz, if you can do a Durant offer while making Ja and Triple J and Bane are the three that, and you can have everyone else in as many picks as we have, but we're keeping those three. So it's something like it's Brooks, it's Zaire Williams, Brandon Clark, Steven Adams expiring, and 1 million picks. And I'm not sure that's enough for Brooklyn, but I'm with you, KOC.
Well, who outbids them, though, in that case?
Well, we're going to keep going. Russillo, you have the third pick.
This is good. Before Chicago stunk, I loved seeing this mini Chicago revival. I just loved it. There'd be these Saturday night games. I'd be home and just seeing that place go nuts.
Stacey King on the mic.
Yeah. Hot sauce. And, Adam doing it. There's something about Chicago. I would love to see them be, look, it's not going to be Jordan, but kind of in the mix of hey, they could come out of the East. And one of their biggest issues when you started seeing the cracks a little bit, you go, if they are in a playoff series, how do they defend any of those other big wings? Not to say that Giannis or Durant are even easy to defend, but it felt like they had no options. And the only one was a guy in Patrick Williams coming back after, a rookie year. We still don't know what to do with him. So you could probably do something where you're like, DeRozan, this was incredible, man. The first half of the season, what a revival. However,
thank you.
And then maybe you can even throw in Patrick Williams some picks, maybe Kobe White, none of this is going to feel good for Brooklyn. Every one of these that we throw out there, unless there's just this one anchor piece that somebody else is going to come up with. But I'm looking at more for just the make-believe, pretend, let's not apply the rules too strictly here. I think Durant in Chicago just would be awesome going into a year.
I had them as well. What if it was a Zach LaVine sign and trade, and then the Bulls threw in Patrick Williams as well? KOC, is that feel like 70 to 80 cents on the dollar for you at that point? KD's going to be the 16th year next year.
I mean, something like that's fine. I want picks too if I'm the Nets, though. I don't want just a player in that case.
I think there would be some picks. Bobby Marks had a tweet about how he thought Durant would command more than any player ever.
The biggest return ever,
I thought that was insane. Davis is nobody. There will never be a bigger trade than the Anthony Davis trade. That is the most assets that will ever be in a trade in our lifetime, in my opinion. Unless Giannis got traded tomorrow.
Do you want plausible destinations or fun destinations?
No, fun. I think the Bulls is a good pick. I think I'm going to go fourth. And I think this is a really fun idea. The Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah.
Come on home, KD. All is forgiven.
The old wound.
We have
Westbrook
a million
is gone.
picks for you. Westbrook's gone. That was one of the reasons you left. We have some cap space for you. We can create this thing. We'll use all our picks. We're going to become an instant corrector. Come back here, like how LeBron came to Cleveland in 2014. Come home. Come to your safe place. You never should have left. And they try to work it out. I mean, they certainly have among the most assets, you could say. So, Chris, you suggested that on a text thread. You seemed enthused about that one.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the more I thought about it, though, and this is kind of along the same come on home stuff, is I've always heard that he's never been happier than when he was in Austin. And
I've never been happier than when I was in Burlington.
But what about the Spurs? Like what about one last time around the block for Popovich, and you figure something out that brings KD to San Antonio and essentially revitalizes that franchise, which is kind of like, in a lot of ways, like a sister, like they're trying to develop like a sister city relationship with Austin anyway. It's a cool place to live.
They're
$82 million in the cap right now. They have
Murray. Wait. By the way, though, just real quick on the. Oh, I'm sorry. You're on San Antonio now. Keep going.
$82 million on the cap, so they could actually absorb him. I guess the question for me is, what are the Nets getting back that would make them feel better about the fact that they owe Houston all these picks? So it's almost like
San
Murray
Antonio
would have to be in that
still
trade.
has Toronto picks coming in from Kawhi, don't they?
No,
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think those might be done.
Wasn't that like one of the? That was almost. I'll look it up here again.
The Pirtle pick, right?
Yeah,
Pirtle, okay.
that was like the last
Pirtle
normal trade before you got picks in the 2030s.
The only way to me San Antonio makes sense is if it's a Kyrie KD package deal, Murray comes back, all that stuff. But it's a fun idea. I just don't think Brooklyn's getting enough back from that. Who do you have, KOC?
How about Dallas? Similar mindset of Chris Ryan there, going back to Texas, pair him up with Luka. They have some deals they could throw in there, short-term contracts. They have future draft picks. I don't know. I think Dallas makes a lot of sense for
Cubes invest in his startups.
Yeah, Cubes spends $40 million on a KD boardroom documentary. That's worth like $2 million.
Some buy lows of the market tanking.
Yeah, I thought about them, but doesn't KD get shit for attaching his wagon to Luka?
I think he's hasn't he already been through that war? Like,
that's not his choice though. Anyway, though, it's not like he has total say here and where he would end up landing. I just think it would be really fun to see that with Luka.
What do you got, Russillo?
I'd love for him to be like, y'all motherfuckers hated me before. I'm going back to Golden State.
So what's that look like? Wiggins and Wiseman
and
Poole
a pick and Moody. We'll throw a little Moody on you.
Man,
Wiseman.
Right? I gotta say, I think Golden State would want no part of that. I think they really enjoyed the 2022 run and would not want to. As all due respect to Kevin and the 2 titles he gave them, but I think they're good. But that would be hilarious if it was like the girl at the end of Swingers calling Mikey, trying to get back together, and Mikey's life's in a much better place. He just doesn't want any part of it. They do have a lot of assets that they could throw together, though, if they wanted to.
Of all the ones we've done, that one's the easiest of like, oh, wait, that would actually kind of be enticing.
I have one. This is just for you, Russillo, but I also really like this trade, and I think it makes sense. What about the Phoenix Suns? You could do the DeAndre Ayton could sign and trade, could be a piece of it. You could throw Cam Williams in there, and you could throw in a bunch of
Cam Johnson?
picks. I'm sorry, Cam Johnson.
Yeah.
Williams too, though.
Who's Cam Williams? Is Cam Williams? What sport is he from? Cam Johnson and then a bunch of picks. And KD, the Suns could just patch together their big man thing. They could keep Chris Paul and Bridges and Booker, add KD to that, and they'd be the favorites in the West. KD would have a chance to win. Great Phoenix basketball history. The fans would love it. They would welcome him. They need to make a move because of the Sarver thing anyway to throw people off the scent. I think there's something there because it doesn't seem like Ayton's going to stay there. And, Detroit made that move yesterday to dump Grant, where clearly they're just going to throw a max at Ayton. But if I'm Phoenix, I'm trying to control that. Do you see that one or no?
Well, I get it might be the only team where the owner would be like, how much do we owe Durant the fourth year?
Yeah.
He's $55 million. I don't know.
And he also, didn't he have Monty as an assistant when he was in Oklahoma City?
Yeah. I think that and the Bulls, out of all the teams we mentioned, are the two that would be like, oh, that team could actually win the title if they did that, and the Nets are still feeling okay. The only
not Memphis, Bill, for winning the title with Kevin Durant on top of everything else, Jaren Jackson, John Morant, Desmond Bane.
I just think Memphis they have to get Jaren Jackson back in that trade if they're doing that.
It's a great point because as we were going through all of these, like the package outside of the untouchables for Memphis got real thin real quick.
It did.
Yeah, but
Desmond Bane cannot be the centerpiece of a Kevin Durant trade.
We had him as an untouchable.
I know.
Yeah, but they can offer 2 firsts in 2022, 2 firsts in 2024
in the 20s.
Yeah. I mean, but still though, that does give Cap draft pick flexibility.
Kevin, it would be sick though. I mean, I agree with you that like watching Durant in that building and seeing Golden State go in there it would just be absolutely pandemonium.
Be the best.
A couple more quick ones. Oh, go ahead, Cassie.
And I just think Memphis has more picks than I think people give them credit for, like with their flexibility to make big deals.
Couple more quick ones. The Clippers could accommodate a KD and Kyrie combo. And I think Paul George would have to be in that. Reggie Jackson. They could take some contracts back. That could be like $100 million of contracts going both ways.
Paul George would tweet out, "Let's go, family."
Right. Within a second.
Wait, KOC, I maybe dismissed then. You were telling me Memphis had more. I'm sorry. I didn't want to go out of order here again, but I didn't want to be dismissive of the point because they had other picks.
Well, they have a bunch of extra picks other than their own picks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Utah this year, Warriors, and I think 24.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right.
2 more teams, and then we'll move on. The Hawks, they could Okongwu, DeAndre Hunter, Collins, and just a shitload of picks and pick swaps, and still have enough of a team left to try to compete with Durant and Trey. I can't imagine Durant and Trey playing together. I think that would be pretty bizarre, but I think they have to be considered. Then I was trying to figure out a Wizards trade just because he's from the DMV. And man, it's like, hey, Porzingis and Kuzma and a million picks. Any interest? I just don't see the Nets pulling the trigger. I feel like they have to get a real person back, that they can point to. That's why the Zach LaVine one is I think the most interesting one to me. But it seems like he's going back to the Bulls too, right?
What about the Celtics?
I can't believe. Did you not pick him on purpose? Would you do Jaylen Brown for Durant right now, Bill? Is Grant Williams untouchable?
No, we're trading Grant Williams to the Hawks for Herter. I'm trying to telepathically will that to happen.
I'm glad you resisted for this long, Bill. I'm impressed with you.
I was like, there's no way he'll go first. But when you snaked it, I was like, he'll do it. He'll do it like out of respect.
That's why I picked Philly. I was like, he's gonna pick Boston.
No, so talk us through it.
He didn't want to go there. I like 6 years
later. They came in second. Remember how proud?
Go there the first
Remember how
time?
proud everybody was that they came in second that year in the free agent thing?
You think you're better than me, KD?
Well, one of the pods I did with him, he basically said I was never going to Boston. They never finished second. There was no second. I wasn't going to Boston. I didn't want to go there.
I couldn't believe the Celtics. I was like, why are people bragging about coming in second? Like that's not really
how bad
second.
the free agent history was with the Celts.